Hello, and welcome to Designing with Handwrytten. Today I'm going to go over how to set up your card so that it meets handwritten requirements. I'm going to show you what our templates look like, what our terms mean, and examples of good and bad card setup. You can access our folded A2 and flat 5x7 card templates here, and you can also find our quick guide that goes over the same information that I'm covering in this video. Right now, I'm showing you our folded A2 portrait template. As you can see, the front and back images of the card are connected. If you've purchased card creation from a salesperson, you can send us the back and front images attached like this, or you can send them separately. The first term I'm going to cover is the bleed. You'll want to add an extra 0.125 inches to your design so that there's a bleed. Bleeds are important in printing because they prevent white edges from happening when paper shifts during the printing process. For example, on a folded A2, which measures 8.5 by 5.5, you'll want to make sure that your card measures 8.75 by 5.75 inches so that there's a bleed. You'll notice that the bleeds on our template are marked by an orange border, and that there should be a 0.125 inch bleed on all card edges. If you're sending us back and front images separately, it's important to remember that there's no bleed where the card folds. There's only a bleed at the card edge. So if you're making a front image only, you want a bleed on the top, the bottom, and the right-hand side of the image. The next term is the trim line, and that's represented by a dotted gray line. Everything outside the trim line will be cut off. You can also think of the trim line as the card edge. Next is the safe zone, which is represented by a blue line. You'll want to keep anything important like your logo or phone number within the safe zone. This is to make sure that anything important doesn't get cut off when we're cutting the cards. Next, I'm going to show you the inside of the card. And we have one new term to cover, and that's the clear space. The clear space is an area used by our operations department when making your card. It's represented by an orange rectangle that is 1 inch by 2 inches. The placement of the rectangle is different depending on the card size and orientation, but it's always 1 by 2 inches. The important thing to remember is that nothing can go in the clear space. So no color, no text, no images. Now I'm going to show you an example of a design that doesn't meet our requirements and one that does. In these examples, I'm using a flat 5x7 portrait card, and I just wanted to point out to you that our clear space is in a different location than the A2 portrait card I showed you earlier. So make sure to check where the clear space is located when you're designing your card. So in this example, the card doesn't meet our requirements. On the front of the card, you'll notice that the word holidays is outside of our safe zone. So there's a possibility that part of this word will get cut off. You can also see that this card does not include a bleed. So there might be a white line on the sides of the card when it gets printed or cut. On the back of the card, you'll see there is a logo and a green rectangle in the clear space. You'll also see that the logo is outside of the safe zone, so there is a chance it will get cut off. Now I'm showing you a card that meets our requirements. I'm using the same design so you can see what changes have been made. On the front, I've made sure that Happy Holidays is smaller so that the word holidays is inside of our safe zone. I've also made sure that my design has a bleed, so the design goes all the way to the bleed edge. On the back, I've removed the green rectangle and made the logo smaller so that nothing is in the clear space. I've also moved the logo down so that it's in our safe zone. So these are all the terms that you need to know to set up your card for Handwrytten. I also wanted to include a reminder to make sure that your files are in CMYK. CMYK is for printing and RGB is for web design. If you're designing in RGB, then your card colors may look different on your proof or when viewing your card on our website. Additionally, make sure you're sending us the highest resolution possible. If you send us something blurry or pixelated, then it will look blurry or pixelated when it gets printed. Setting up CMYK and exporting for high resolution depends on the program you're using. So make sure to check with whoever makes the software if you're not sure how to do that.